Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Nila Wanjiro and today we have a special guest with us and I will let him introduce himself.
Thank you, Nila, for having me. My name is Kevin Ismail. I am a development communications expert, and I work across the country. I'm always in Nairobi, in Mombasa, and sometimes also traveling outside for duty.
Thank you so much, Kevin Ismail. So on to our first question. Can you describe your role in promoting road safety?
I currently consult with an initiative called Bloomberg Philanthropies Initiative for Global Road Safety, where I lead communication efforts within the city of Mombasa. And so my role as a communications expert is to really support communication work and come up with initiatives that are able to profile road safety and create awareness about road safety, and most importantly also build capacity for the media to be able to report effectively on road safety.
What are some of the big road safety issues we have in our country currently?
Road safety is not only a Kenyan issue, but it's a global issue. And actually, it should be regarded as a global public health issue because we lose a lot of people to road crashes every year. And according to the World Health Organization, we actually lose up to 1.3 million people every single year globally. And if you look at it even at the country level, Kenya itself, we lose up to 4,000 people every year. So this is a really big challenge that we have as a country. And part of our work as an initiative is to look at how best can we be able to collaborate and work with local stakeholders and international stakeholders and the government to be able to enhance road safety. But looking at some of the challenges that we have in road safety, we can talk about the infrastructure, how that has been designed. Most of our roads are designed for for cars and not pedestrians. And if you look at the statistics and the data that are there, a lot of people that we lose on the road are the most vulnerable, who are pedestrians who are walking on the road frequently. So there is that. There is an issue of enforcement. There is the issue of lack of public knowledge and awareness on the matter. And those are but a few of the challenges that we are facing in the space of road safety.
Thank you so much for that. Have you noticed any trends concerning road accidents in our country currently?
I'm not sure if I'm clear on what you mean by trends. Perhaps you would like to elaborate on that.
As in, are they trends in like the way road accidents are being caused, like common?
We could talk of risk factors. What causes road crashes in our country, and speeding is one of the major risk factors when it comes to road crashes. There is also drink driving. There is also poor infrastructure, as I've said. There's also the issue of people not using their safety belt in the right way, people not using their helmets, because our transport system in the country is quite diverse. We have cars, we have people walking, we have borders, so it's quite diverse. And all those particular aspects, you will see that some of the trends that are there is that drink driving, speeding, not using safety belts or even helmets, and also an emerging trend I would say is also mental health issues, because according to NTSA, actually 80% of the road crashes that happen on the road are as a result of human error, and sometimes mental health plays a role in that because people first of all don't get enough rest before they embark on long distance journeys. People are going through a lot of economical challenges and all that, so that destructive sort of thoughts may lead to road crashes on the road, because when you're on the road you have to be fully present, because you're either carrying lives or you're also life itself, so you have to be very careful and take every precaution to ensure that you're not endangering any life on the road.
Okay, do you think that there is hope for safer roads in Kenya, reduction in road accidents? And if you think so, how is your company working towards reaching this?
There's definitely hope. because we are always working towards the reduction of road crashes, and the goal is to under the United Nations is what we call Vision Zero. Every institution that is mandated to promote road safety is working towards reducing road crashes on the road. So there is definitely hope. There has been progress that has been made by the government. The support that is being given also by the development partners is helping in one way or another in ensuring that there is reduction of road crashes. And perhaps maybe also one thing that we need to understand, it's a collective effort. It's not a government initiative. It's not a development partners initiative, but it's upon each and every stakeholder, including the people, the road users, to take up the initiative to ensure that they are promoting road safety. And I believe that we'll get somewhere.
Okay, now that we have talked more about the initiatives of your company, I'd like to know more about the challenges that you face in your company, not just as the communications person, but as the whole company at large.
There are different challenges that I would say, the issue of funding. When you're running road safety initiatives, there is need for proper funding for us to ensure that the interventions that are being put in place are well funded. So that's one of the challenges that we face. And I think also other challenges are sometimes lack of a proper system of data. Because data is also very important when it comes to coming up with road safety interventions. So I would say those are the major challenges that we are facing, but also as much as we are facing them, there are also systems that are being put in place to ensure that we get enough funding and of course have the right systems for data collection to ensure that the interventions that are being put in place for road safety are effective.
Because you've come up with that, take to ask a question on how are you publicizing road safety to people, especially people who don't have access to social media, because social media is one of the biggest form of communication today. So what other ways are you ensuring that other people are able to get this information?
We do not only use social media as a way of communication, and given that I'm in that space of communication, there are different ways that we have employed to ensure that there is general and public knowledge and awareness on matters road safety. And some of the channels or avenues that we use is of course mainstream media, whereby we are constantly engaging the media for us to have opportunities where we can talk about road safety platforms, where we can talk about road safety, and through the mainstream media, then we're able to reach the public. We do come up frequently with campaigns that are geared towards reaching the public, and mass media campaigns to be specific. So you will find them sometimes we have used billboards, we have used social media, we have used radios, we have used sometimes we even do community engagements whereby we go into the community, we engage matatu drivers, we engage the pedestrians, we engage even the private car owners in a way that we are working towards ensuring that there is general public knowledge, and we collaborate with the institutions like the National Transport and Safety Authority (NTSA) towards creating the awareness and ensuring that this particular information reaches the people through effective communication channels.
Okay. You have said that you work, you do campaigns. Have you seen any improvement through your campaigns? Have you seen any change? Have you seen any positive response from the people, or are there many negative response from the people?
I would say when it comes to behavioral change communication, because I believe even our campaigns are geared towards behavioral change. There's a term that we call behavioral change communication. It's something that is progressive. We just recently concluded a campaign on road safety, specifically addressing the issue of speeding. And I'll be very honest with you that perhaps during that period of the campaign, we have not seen a lot of road crashes. And there was a reduction in that. But again, it has to be a progressive sort of engagement for us to ensure that there is change. So it's not a one-off thing. It cannot be achieved in a single day. But through collaborative efforts and constant communication and coming up with such campaigns throughout in season out, we'll be able to see behavior change and also see a reduction in road crashes.
Do you think that mental health plays a big role when it comes to road safety?
Again, it does, because you have to be sane, you have to be mentally okay.
What role do you think technology plays when it comes to road safety?
We are living in a time where technology is very, very, very critical in all aspects of life. And when it comes to road safety, technology plays a very critical role. There is a term that we have been talking about called smart cities, whereby you will see a lot of cameras installed within cities, so as to catch road safety offenders. And there are even cameras that are also being used as speed guns and speed cameras that are supposed to also capture those that are speeding on the road. And there are many other ways technology is actually playing a critical role in enhancing road safety. So I believe that there is need to invest more in technology when it's specifically when it comes to enhancing and talking about road safety. I may not be qualified to speak much on that particular space, but I believe that technology plays a very critical role in promoting and enhancing road safety.
As much as you have said technology and all that, do you think that Kenya is well equipped to? Do you think we have enough of these instruments to ensure road safety? Do you think, in terms of technology, do you think that Kenya is equipped in this area, or do we need to grow in some way?
I believe as a country we are getting there. The government has been making a lot of investments when it comes to technology. If you visit now even the city of Nairobi or the city of Mombasa, you will see a lot of installations on our roads, in particular the things that are pointed out. And I know that even they are constantly looking at ways we can be able to enhance road safety through technology. So we may not be there as a country, but I believe there have been key milestones that have been made, and there are also plans in progress to ensure that road safety is enhanced.
Speaking about this road safety through technology, for a long time we have seen the use of traffic police on the roads to reduce the rate of road accidents. Do you think that these traffic police at some point are the ones who cause some of these accidents to occur due to not being very strict when it comes to the road safety laws, or due to corruption? Because in our country we see that corruption is one of the major problems that we face. What's your take on that?
The police officers play a very critical role of enforcement when it comes to road safety. Again, as I said, when it comes to road safety, it cannot be a blame game to it's the police, it is the drivers, it is it's a collective effort. But also we have to acknowledge that there are challenges that we are facing. Corruption is one of them, as you have pointed out, which hinders effective enforcement on matters road safety. You will find that now there are some police officers who would accept a bribe to allow unroadworthy vehicles on the road, and then those unroadworthy end up causing road crashes on the road. So there are definitely challenges that we are facing when it comes to enforcement and specifically working with the police. But I believe that everyone should be held accountable, not to run away. That yes, there is need for us to look at how can we have effective enforcement on our roads to ensure that we are not allowing unroadworthy vehicles, or we are not allowing speeding on our roads. So that's also where we talked about technology comes in, and sometimes if you're able to have installations of speed cameras that are able to capture those cars that are speeding, and then that particular information is recorded in the system, and those people are taken to court for them to be able to face full arm of the law, then perhaps there will be reduced cases of corruption, but there is indeed a challenge of corruption, and that hinders effective enforcement, which is played by the police officers.
Now that we're talking about corruption, do you think that the politicians also play a role when it comes to road safety? Because we see that at the beginning or during their campaigns, they promise to build roads, but at the end of their term, we find that the roads haven't been established. Do you think that plays a role?
And that's an interesting question. It's also a very political question. But I believe good political will is very key when it comes to enhancing road safety. Improved infrastructure is an important aspect of enhancing road safety, and so if there are leaders that are supposed to be working towards enhancing our infrastructure, then there needs to be accountability in that role. So that's all I can say when it comes to how politics plays a role in enhancing road safety, and perhaps also in terms of laws and policies that are supposed to be passed within our parliament. The politicians or the leaders play that particular role. They need to have an understanding of the challenges that are faced in the road safety space, and they need to take up initiatives that can be able to enhance the policies that are supposed to safeguard and enhance road safety. So that's what I can say.
Thank you for that. Now that we're talking about the different areas that road accidents affect, let's talk about the economy. Do you think that the economy affects road safety in any way?
First, let me correct you. When you've made a bit of a reference as a road crash and road accident quite often, and I think when we're talking about, when you keep on making it, when you talk of roads, I think the right word to use is actually road crash and not road accident. Mm-hmm. Because when you keep on saying that it's an accident, then it means that it was not avoidable. But some of the cases of the road crashes that we see on our roads are very much avoidable, because if you don't drink and drive, you will not crash the car. If you do not speed, you will not crash the car. So it is a crash, it is not an accident. And communication wise, we prefer using the word crash to accident, because we want to change the mindset of people to understand that road crashes are avoidable if we are all accountable and responsible for our actions. But to go back to the question on how road crash affects the economy, or what role road accidents or crashes affect the economy, I'll say that I started by giving you a lot of data and statistics on how road crash, the numbers in the road crash. 1.3 million people die every year. 50 million people globally are also affected through injuries. Some of them that are serious, some of them that are minor, but 50 million people are injured. And if you look at today, especially in the border sector, a lot of people have lost their legs, their arms as a result of a road crash. These are people that are breadwinners, and these are people that are contributing into the economy. So, in one way or another, it has a huge impact. The amount of money that is spent on medication by the family, even by the government, to take care of these people, the victims of road crashes, is huge. And it's, I think there is an estimate of up to 500 billion Kenyan shillings that go into that space of road safety and all that, and that's a lot of money that can be used somewhere else. So yes, definitely, road crashes plays a very critical role in any progression of any economy, not only in Kenya but across the world. But again, Africa carries the biggest burden when it comes to road crashes.
that slows the progression of the economy as a country.
Okay, since you said that there's a difference, we should not say road accidents but road crashes. This means that even if the road accident was caused by a mechanical issue, let's say for example a failing brake, we'll still categorize it in terms of road crash. That means that human beings are the ones who are responsible for issues also concerning mechanical problems.
Most cases of road crashes are as a result of human error. In most cases of road crashes, can be avoided in a big way. And that's why when we're looking at the risk factor, there is no risk factor of mechanical failure. It is drink driving, speeding, not using safety belts or helmets. Those are things that people can actually embrace and ensure that those particular laws are followed. Mechanical issues, it is very minute. Sometimes it is very rare that you will find a car that crashed as a result of mechanical issue. And even when they do, also sometimes the drivers know. Those that are using sometimes probably a car, you can always know a car has a problem. And that is why under the NTSA, the NTSA rules, any PSVs needs to be inspected, on a regular basis to ensure that it is up to the standards of being on the road. Even your own personal car, it requires servicing every now. So if you ignore the aspect of servicing the car, then there comes a mechanical failure, then it causes a road crash.
Let's talk about superstition. For many years now, there have been cases of road accidents being caused due to superstitions. I per se because people claim to be seeing people on the road where there are no such people of the sort. And at the end of the day, we have many reports on road crashes. I apologize. So, do you think that this is a real thing? Because we also see the NTSA playing a role in telling people that this is a very known area for accidents, so be careful. Do you think that these superstitions can actually be not superstitions but real happening?
I mean, it's called a myth and misconception about road safety, and I wouldn't say they exist. I think it goes back to the issue of mental health. If you are not well rested, and you're driving, and you start hallucinating and seeing things, perhaps, and that will be your story after that, which has happened. If you're a survivor. So I think superstitions, those are things that people would like to believe, but I don't think they genuinely exist. I think if you and of course I don't think there's been any specific cases that have been investigated and said this particular road crash was caused as a result of seeing people on the road or seeing I don't know who and who on the road. I think those are just myth and misconception that people do come up with to escape from taking responsibility for their failures to either follow the traffic laws or to be well prepared for any journey and so forth.
Now that you have talked about hallucination, can we also bring out the aspect of drug and substance abuse being an issue or a big effect when it comes to road accidents?
Drug and substance abuse is a major problem now, especially within the young population. And talk about drink drug. People, you will find that people today are not even only using drugs, not only using alcohol, but other drugs. And when they are on the road, their mind is altered and they are not able to see things in the right way. And as a result of that, we see a lot of road crashes, especially every weekend. Like there are so many road crashes that happen weekend. Just yourself, from Friday evening to Saturday evening, and perhaps you wake up to stories of, there was a rupture somewhere, people died somewhere. But you won't see that during the week. I believe you saw that during the week they are very, So drug and substance abuse is actually a major problem when it comes to, road safety and achieving the zero vision. Because, if you're using drugs and still being on the road, then you cause a road crash and put people down the road. It's not right. So it is a problem, and I believe that, the relevant authorities and bodies that are supposed to work in that particular space should and are working on ensuring that, it's a challenge that has been taken care of.
Now that we're talking about alcohol, some years back, not very long, the NTSA made a very big initiative where they would, at some certain points of the hour, they would stop cars and do alcohol tests. But nowadays, we do not see it being done so much. Do you think that if that was brought back, then it will benefit people, or do you think that we should just do away with it as it has been done?
I don't know, maybe you're not seeing it, but it is still something that is there. NTSA, in collaboration with the Kenya Police, they're constantly having operations drink driving. And perhaps maybe what can be done is frequently do it and do it more and create awareness more about it for people to understand that there is this issue. But that particular operation is still ongoing, and perhaps maybe what can be done is not only do it in particular seasons, but do it frequently to ensure that that particular aspect of that particular behavior of drink driving has been stopped completely. But it's an effective way of also capping drink driving, and I believe there should be more. It should be done more to enhance road safety in our country.
Thank you for that. As we come to the end of this interview, what would you like to tell the viewers concerning road safety? What would you like to advise them? What would you like to pass out to them?
As I said at the beginning, I think road safety is a very collective effort. It is not only for the police, or for the media, or for the government. It's a collective effort. Under the World Health Organization, there is something that has been developed called the Safe System Approach, which dictates or which requires or which encourages that there should be a collective effort to ensure that road safety is enhanced and we save lives and we reduce road fatality. So what I can urge our audience is to take a personal initiative in ensuring that we enhance road safety. If you're a pedestrian, use the right pathways. There are pedestrian pathways that have been created. Use the zebra crossing. Use a safety belt. Use a helmet. If you are also the police, enforcement is very critical. Ensuring that we remove road and unroadworthy vehicles on the roads. I mean, everyone has a role to play, and so I urge every person to take a personal responsibility in ensuring that we save lives and we reduce road crashes on our roads.
Thank you so much, Kevin Ismail. As you have heard from Kevin Ismail, so much insight concerning road safety, and we are happy to have him here today with us. And he is a big person in terms of communication. He has been in the field for 8 years of experience, right? And he also owns a podcast known as Powered Voice Kenya. Before we leave, we'll just like to hear a little bit about your podcast.
Powered Voice is a podcast for young people that ideally is supposed to highlight challenges that are faced by young people in their professional life, in their personal spaces. And so we create a safe space for young people to come and share their stories and ideas, and also bring in even people that are thought leaders in specific areas to be able to share insights and advice and counsel to ensure that there is progress and we do not feel stagnated as young people. So please do check out our Voice podcast. We are present in all social media platforms: Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and all that. Do follow us and share those insights on what we can be able to talk about.
Thank you so much. As you have heard, we have been blessed and graced. Please check out Powered Voices KE to get more information on his podcast. And remember to drive safe, and safety starts with you. Thank you.
Asante sana. It was a pleasure having to speak to you.
Pleasure
And
was
all
mine.